It's Friday, September 15th, I think. Pretty sure it's September 15th. And I'm trying out yet another microphone for Guy's Daily Drive. And good morning. I'm just like with the MyMac Podcast, I constantly struggle with audio for the various things that I do. I had been using a Samsung Go USB microphone, and I guess my only real complaint about that microphone is that it picks up a lot of road noise, and that is actually something I can mostly fix in post. Basically, you just find the frequency that sound is coming in at and minimize it, in a very, very narrow band, and that should take care of it. But the reason why I'm using a different mic is I kind of bought that Samsung Go on a whim when I was at a Best Buy and saw it. I was like, I'll try it. And it's not bad. There's a couple things I really like about it. Number one, the Samsung Go mic is a USB microphone, which means that I can plug it not directly, I have to use a camera adapter, Apple's camera adapter. But I can plug that directly into the lightning port of the iPod Touch that I use to record Guy's Daily Drive. And it doesn't get nearly a lot of the issues that I have with using various microphones that I've used with the headphone port, including... I've tried a couple different things. I tried using Apple's earbuds with the built-in microphone that I got with the iPhone, and that worked. Audio quality wasn't that great, but it did work. So I figured then, okay, well, what if I get a lav mic? And that's what this thing is right here. I've talked about lav mics before, and some of them have been okay, some of them, but without fail, every single one of them, within a couple of weeks, I started getting pops and other audio artifacts that weren't road noise from the car. It was just something with either the headphone input or with the microphone or the plug itself, but it just didn't sound right and made for issues. I also tried these little condenser microphones that plug in directly to the headphone port and then kind of just pop out from it, and had the same kind of problems. The only microphone I've used so far that hasn't had that issue has been that Samsung Go USB microphone, which just clips right up here on the visor. And I will probably go back to that, depending on how this one sounds. Obviously, this is the first time I've tried using this microphone, and I have no idea what it's going to sound like. We'll see. I'm really kind of curious, because when I first plugged it in, I didn't think it was working. So on my way to work, I stopped, got off the road. I didn't try to do this while I was driving, and looked at settings in both the software that I use to record Guy's Daily Drive, which is not the built-in camera app, and the settings for the the iPod Touch because I didn't think it was connecting. I didn't think I was getting sound from this microphone. And I honestly can't even really say for sure now whether this is audio coming from this microphone here, or if it's audio coming from the built-in microphone that's in the iPod Touch. I guess I'll find out when I look at this later. But I'm out of time, so if you would like to get a hold of me, you can reach me via email, guy@mymac.com, probably. I can definitely be found on the Twitters, MacParrot. If you would like to support some of the things that I do, you can do so by becoming a patron, patreon.com/MacParrot, or a one-time donation with coffee, ko-fi.com, coffee.com/MacParrot. Any of those things that you do, I really, really appreciate it, that you've helped support Guy's Daily Drive and some of the other things that I do. And speaking of which, I will catch you next time on Guy's Daily Drive. Welcome to Guy's Daily Drive. It is, what is that date? What's today's date?
It's Friday, September 14th, 2018.
It's Friday, September 14th, 2018. And this is Guy's Daily Drive. Yeah. Big truck. Hello, everybody. It is the end of another work week. I am so happy. People that aren't happy right now are down there in the Carolinas, where they are dealing with a slow-moving hurricane named Florence. And I've talked a bit about this hurricane and my displeasure of major news organizations amping up the volume mostly to get you to tune in so that they can sell more advertisements. Now, I got into an argument on Twitter, because that's what Twitter apparently is good for these days, with someone who really didn't understand the point I was trying to make. When Florence was still way out at sea, it amped up very quickly to a Category 4 hurricane. And as soon as that happened, I mean, they were talking, and we're talking banner headlines, big, huge letters, storm of the century. That, this was a killer storm, and oh my God, you are going to die unless you tune in every hour to listen to what we have to say about it. And when it cranked back down to, it was strong 1, Category 2, I kind of took them to task and said, to use the potential of a big storm like this and to amp up the volume just to sell advertising is despicable. And not everybody, but quite a few people jumped on me talking about how, it's still a bad storm. Are you saying that because it's not a Category 4, it's not important to talk about? It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? Any hurricane, any large tropical storm is a dangerous storm, and people need to take it very, very seriously. It was never about the intensity of the storm. It was never about the storm going from a 4 to a 2, or a 2 to a 1, or a 1 to a 4, or however you wanted to do it. It was the shrill noise from major news outlets, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, the Weather Channel, all of them using the potential of a large storm to sell advertising, to ramp up the volume, to ramp up the panic, simply to make money on potentially other people's problems, other people's misery. That was the issue. Not that it went from a 4 to a 2. I don't care that it went from a 4 to a 2 or a 2 to a 1. It's not important. As far as a hurricane goes, it is still a dangerous storm. Florence even more so because of its size. It's a huge storm. So this is an example of people assigning their own narrative, and even after being told that their narrative was not the one that was being pushed, continue to misunderstand it, most likely on purpose, that it was never about the storm. It was never about Florence. So that's all I'm going to say on that. And, all of you people, and you can look at my Twitter feed to see who it is I'm talking about, you can kiss my ass. Okay? It's so stupid that you would purposely misconstrue something I said, even after I told you that you had it wrong. That's what Twitter is good for, is to get into pointless arguments. Now, moving off of that, please. I have a new microphone. I talked about it in a guy's daily drive I did this morning. I don't know if I'm going to release that one, or even if I'll release this one. It all depends on what it sounds like. I mean, I did a listen to it from just the speakers in the iPod Touch that I used to record. And it sounded okay, but I mean, we'll see what it sounds like when I extract the video, get it on the Mac, edit it, and see what that's doing. This is another one of those microphones that has a TRRS connector directly into the headphone jack of the iPod Touch that I use to record Guy's Daily Drive. And I have not had the best of luck with these little lav mics that plug directly in. So we'll see how this one does. I had also a Samsung Go mic, which is a USB microphone. I had it clipped right to the visor just above me here. And the problem I had with that one, it's a condenser mic. And so, as it is a condenser mic, it picks up a lot of extraneous noise. particularly car noise, engine noise. And in order to get rid of it, I've got to find that exact filter or that exact frequency and chop that out. And it's an extra step, and I don't want to do it. I will if I have to, because so far, with a little bit more tweaking, that has been probably as close to pretty good sound as I've had so far. The cheap lav mics really didn't work out that well. This is a Rode Smart Lav. Don't know if it's going to be any better. Find out later. So sleepy. I am tired. What else is going on? Didn't do a Mac to the Future live cast this week because of issues with the live casting software that I've been using. I'm kind of on a long-term test. And it more than likely is something that I wasn't doing right, but it was really, really frustrating that I couldn't figure it out. Now, this was the problem in a nutshell. This program has a really, really nifty feature. It's a great feature where you can, instead of using Skype and Skype Cam, you send someone a link and it uses Chrome and it goes directly through this company's servers, and the quality of the video and the quality of the audio is as good or better than Skype and Discord and Zoom and some of the other ones that I've tried. But what I couldn't get to happen was being able to hear that person, being able to hear things like my Farrago sound effects, or iTunes, or if I was playing a video through Chrome or something along those lines. I could hear all those things. What I couldn't not hear was my own audio. Now, the problem you run into is if you can hear yourself while you record podcasts or whatever, there's a thing called latency. And as little as 10 to 25 milliseconds can throw you off in how you sound. So usually what I'd like to do is test my microphone, test my sound, make sure that it sounds fine, and then I don't want to hear it anymore. But I could not figure out how to do that in this program on a Wednesday night, and after about 30 to 40 minutes, I was like, you know what, I'm tired, I'm frustrated, and it's too late now to really record, so we just let it go, and we didn't record that evening. That was Wednesday. So I'll work on it some more over the weekend. Stop yawning, damn it. Work on it some more over the weekend and see if I can figure out what it is I was doing wrong. Maybe I'll get together or try to get a hold of the people that created the software so that they can tell me what it is I was doing wrong. And then move on from that. I'm still really digging the software. It's the most, after everything I just said, it's the most intuitive of all the various programs that I have used. And I don't know if I don't know how I will work out using it in the future once the test is done. But depending on how you view things like this, it's cheaper than some alternatives, but more expensive than others. And it really just depends on how much you want to get into the guts of live casting. You know, there's lots of different options, and I'll probably talk about those options on another day. But I think that's going to do it for today. If you would like to get a hold of me, you can send me an email to guy@mymac.com, probably. You can also reach me on the Twitters. My Twitter handle there is MacParrot. And of course, I do the Mac to the Future livecast on Wednesday nights, usually at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The MyMac.com podcast on the weekends I do with Gaz. Special guest this week, sort of penciled in, scheduled, hopefully, is Carl Madden, who is a longtime friend of the MyMac.com podcast. He's been on several times. Good guy. So, if you'd like to help support the crazy stuff that I do, you can send me money. You can send me money, one-time donation through coffee.com, ko-fi.com/MacParrot. Just look up MacParrot or Guy Searle if that doesn't work for whatever reason. You can also become a regular contributor, and that would be marvelous. Over there on Patreon, patreon.com/MacParrot. Same thing. If you can't find me that way, look for Guy Searle. And, of course, Guy's Daily Drive, this thing here. So thank you all for watching and or listening, because I also not really transcribe this, but transcode it over to audio and put that up in iTunes under Guy's Daily Drive. And I will catch you next time, whenever I record my next one, right here on the aforementioned Guy's Daily Drive.